I think we have our first good sale of the year here with the Steam Board Game Fest going on this week. And while there's some good digitally adapted board games in here, there's also some good like turn-based, top-down strategy games that are also thrown in here as part of the sale. And we're going to work our way through them and find some good stuff. And with it being Board Game Fest, I suppose the first thing I should mention is Tabletop Simulator. This is not a game, but it is a digital tabletop that allows you to play pretty much any board game you can think of. While there are a bunch of officially licensed board games that are in here that you can pick up, those are on sale as well. There's mods, and you can create your own games. So literally, I would say 99% of the board games that are out there, if a game has a name and it's known, it's probably got a Tabletop Simulator version for it that you can just download for free and play digitally here. In fact, a lot of these games that I'm going to mention in this list probably, most certainly, have a Tabletop Simulator version that you could play here with Tabletop Simulator. It is on sale at the moment. 50% off puts it down at $10. Again, as I mentioned before, it's not all just board games. So Let Them Trade, which feels kind of like a board game. It's a turn-based tactical city building or trade network building game that came out here back in 2025. This one is sitting here at 50% off, puts it at $8.99 at the moment. So you're building multiple towns. You got like a town of the wood builder town and the sea fish town and the mining town, and you got to work the trade networks going and collect the cash and the taxes to build your kingdom more than just a city builder. Up next, we have Small World. So I used to be a bit of a board game snob, we'll call it. You know, board games belong in board game land and video games belong in computer lands. They don't mix. Around the time I played Small World is around the time that I changed my mind about that. Small World is, think of it as like an advanced risk. So you choose a fantasy risk. You choose elves or dwarves or whatever else out there, humans, and you build your kingdom up, slowly conquering territory. But your races will die out, and then you bring in a new empire to kind of take over the place. There's a lot of things to keep up with on the board game. It's a lot of fun, board game style. And then I played the digital version here on Steam back in 2013 when it came out. And it makes things so much nicer and so much easier to keep track of because it does it all for you. So this helped change my tone on digital adaptations of board games. It's over here on Steam, $2.49 right now, puts it at 75% off. Next up, we got Gloomhaven. You lead your band of mercenaries. You choose a fantasy hero, and in this sort of turn-based tactical style, tactical RPG, they call it, you make your way through a bunch of dungeons and forests and jungles and all that good stuff. By Flaming Fowl Studios. Came out in 2021, and it is now sitting at 72% off, puts it at $9.79. By the way, all of these, thanks with the help of my extension, my browser extension, these are the cheapest they have ever been, ever. Next up, we go to Carcassone, one of the classic board games, the famous board game Carcassone. Tile placement, you place your like a French countryside, you're placing down, whether it's cities or cloisters or roads, and you put your meeples down to claim the points. It's a lot of fun in my house anyway, and there's the digital version of that, which is sitting down at $2.99, puts it at 70% off right now. Talisman is another one of those. It's a board game. There's a lot going on, we'll say, and trying to keep track of everything that's going on is half the game if you're playing the original board game. The digital version makes that so much easier. And while there is two different kinds of Talisman here on Steam, there's a new Talisman, Talisman 5th edition that came out in 2024. I haven't played that one, but I have played the original one. I feel weird mentioning things that I haven't played, but I have played the original one that came out in 2014. That one's down at $3.49 for the original Talisman. There's a bunch of DLC for this along as well. And then the new one is also on sale. It is at its lowest price at $16.49 at 45% off. But you're a hero. You and everyone else is competing against trying to basically make it to the middle of the map. You run around the board multiple times, collecting gear and fighting things and gaining experience and becoming leveling up your character with the ultimate goal of making it into the middle first. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot to keep up with if you're playing the real board game, but the digital one, it does it all for you. Next up, we have Splendor. You are a Renaissance gem merchant, And your goal is to collect all the gems in the mines and compete with all the other Renaissance gem merchants that are out there in the world and try to become the ultimate merchants. This is one of those that I played the digital one first. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I went out and I got the real version, and I thoroughly enjoyed that as well. Another bonus with these digital ones is it has a solo, like a campaign mode, a single-player mode, and then several of these have that, which if you really like the game, it adds a little bit more to it, or something to do when you're all on your own. This is at 80% off at the moment, puts it at $1.99. King's Orders is not a board game, but a turn-based strategy game that came out in 2024 by Afterlife. It is sitting at $7.49 right now. It puts it at 50% off. In this one, you are the leader of... You're the king, hence the name King's Orders. And while you're trying to take additional territories, command your knights around, send your diplomats out, it's all based on this system of you can only send out messengers. And so you don't get immediate reports. You only get reports on what you hear back from your messengers. And so it's a game about trying to dictate and manage that and capture other messengers, make sure your messengers don't get captured so your orders get put out, and hope your orders go the way you want them to go. It's a lot of fun. It's a little different, but it is sitting here for $7.49 right now. Mysterium, there's been a murder. And your job is to go in and figure out who did the murdering and with what weapon and all that kind of thing. Kind of an advanced or a different take on Clue, where one person plays as the ghost and they give out weird-looking pictures, and your job is to try to figure out what they're trying to tell you in those pictures. This one's a ton of fun. Another one that I played first here on Steam, and I went out and I got it because it's a lot of fun. As a board game and as a Steam version. Of course, there's a single player thing in here as well. This one's sitting at $1.46 right now, 79% off. It does have mostly negative recent reviews, and that's because the servers were down for a while, but apparently they're back up. So hopefully they keep those things a-running. Next up, we have Gremlins Inc., an intense strategy board game in a steampunk world of corrupt capitalist gremlins. I read it straight from the Steam page because I don't know any better way of describing it. You are a gremlin, and you're very corrupt, whether you steal or gamble or trick and trap your opponent's way into collecting the most cash. You do whatever you want. This one's a lot of fun. It's certainly a interactive board game with friends if you play the real version of it. The Steam version is here on, Steam for 80% off. Puts it at $3.99. It's not the lowest it's ever been. It is 25 cents more than the lowest it's ever been, but close enough, and certainly worth mention here for this fest. Evolution is kind of a classic board game. It's been around for a little while, and it's one of those ones that always gets ranked as like the best board game in the last decade or whatever. This one, the digital version, came out in 2019 by North Star Digital Studios. It's at 60% off right now, puts it at $6. In this one, you are trying to evolve and adapt. You've got some creatures, and whether those creatures are going to be herbivores or carnivores, depending on how much food is available for them to eat, and your opponent's trying to eat the same amount of food. Do you eat your opponent? Do you eat the food in the middle? You can't have it all because there ain't enough food to go around for everyone. You eat all the other animals, then you got no green stuff to eat. You eat all the green stuff, there's no more animals to eat. So it is a lot of fun, and it's here on Steam. Spacecorp, 2025 to 2300 AD. This is by Logic Interactive, and this is a game where you start out on Earth and you slowly work your way out into space. I don't do sponsored things for these list videos, but they did actually sponsor a video for me to do this game back last year, and I would never have heard of it if they hadn't contacted me about it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It sort of takes place in phases. You start out colonizing the moon and Jupiter and all this. I guess the moon first and Mars, and then you go to the outer planets, and then you go to the outer system, and you start conquering other systems in this sort of phase, space exploration, space 4X style of board game. And it is certainly a hidden gem in my opinion, and it came out last year, and it is sitting here at 50% off for $6.49. Strategic Mine, The Pacific, it's your classic hex-based, turn-based strategy game. World War II, whether you are ships or planes or whatever, you are, classic turn-based tactical game. and it is here on Steam by Starny Games. Came out in 2019, and it is 60% off right now at $11.99. The Warlock of Firetop Mountain is a game that I just purchased. I've been looking forward to buying this one for a long time. I keep forgetting about it. I think, well, next time it goes on sale, I'll grab it, and then I forget about it. I got it this time. This one, if you're not familiar with Warlock of Firetop Mountain, it's an old game book, like 40 years ago. This kind of choose-your-own-adventure-ish. You're basically playing through the game book. You're an adventurer walking into Zagor's lair, and this is the digital adaptation of that. You kind of march your way through into this dungeon that looks like a tabletop RPG, and you're kind of completing in this story and trying to survive the dungeon of the place. Anyway, I'm quite familiar with it, but I just haven't played the digital version. But I will here pretty soon because I just bought it. It is 80% off right now. It puts it at $3.99 by Tin Man Games. That's the only one on the list that I've other than the other Talisman version. I've either played all of these on Steam or I've played the digital or the actual board game of these. Just so you know, and you know I know what I'm talking about for most of these anyway. Scythe, the digital edition, is one of those that I've played the board game, but I haven't played the digital version of this one. But the digital version, according to the reviews, is very faithful to the original board game. In this one, it's 1920, and the World War I has just finished, but it's in this alternate reality with like mechs walking around, and your job is to take one of these different factions, and in this 4X style, you build up, claim more territory, maybe get some mechs of your own to fight back against your opponents to claim more territory in this like alternate history steampunk or some sort of punk style of 4X board game. It is by the Knights of Unity, and it came out in 2018. It is $4 right now, puts it at 80% off. Through the Ages, according to Board Game Geek, this is like the third greatest game ever made, third greatest board game ever made. The digital version here came out in 2018 by CGE Digital. It is Civilization as a board game. Not that Civilization board game, like a card game type of board game. You got an array of cards to choose from, whether it be developing technologies or building armies or building wonders or buildings, and you try to build up your civilization, and you and your opponents are trying to do the same thing with that same array of cards. It's a lot of fun. I played it back when it came out in 2018, but it is here on Steam for 50% off right now at $7.99. Planetiles is not a board game, but again, one of those turn-based ones that fits in that category, I suppose. Planetiles, as the name suggests, you've got a planet that is in dire need of terraforming, and your job is to place some tiles down in this like Tetris-y style, Tetris with challenges style of planet terraforming. By Mythic Owl, came out in 2024. It is sitting at $2.49 right now, 75% off for this one. If you're looking more like kind of like that Dwarf Romantic Islanders, kind of a casual puzzly island building game or world building game. I want to mention Cultist Simulator here. As Cultist Simulator, you're trying to lead a cult, trying to found a cult. There's a lot of mysteries and alien gods and all that kind of stuff going on with this game. I'm mentioning it is not the lowest it has ever been. It's been cheaper in the past. However, all the DLC is on sale. There's a bunch of DLC along with this one, and it is all on sale for pretty cheap. And I want to make sure to mention that because Cultist Simulator is a pretty popular one. Got a good size following here by Weather Factory, the same folks that made like Fallen London and Sunless Sea. If you're familiar with those two games, you kind of know what you're getting into with Cultist Simulator. But it is still on sale. The DLC is on sale, and certainly worth a mention here for the old Board Game Fest. My daughter loves the Game of Life 2, and I want to make sure and mention it because it is on sale really cheap. We played this one on the Switch, and I saw it pop up here on the list of games on sale. And it's cheap, $3.74, 70% off. I'm sure you're familiar with what Life is, so I won't go into details about that. But there you go. It's on sale. And I can't end a board game sale thing without mentioning Talespire. I've been playing Talespire since it came out back in 2021. I've been using with my D&D campaigns. I love it. It's a kind of a good combination of the two, of not being too digital and too involved, but just setting a good scenery for a good D&D campaign or the like. They got a bunch of steampunk and sci-fi stuff they're adding in there now for assets and things. But anyway, this is a beautiful way to play pen and paper RPGs, is what the Steam page says, and I agree with that. This one came out 2021 again. It is 25% off, puts it at $18.74 right now. So, along with the board game sale, there's also this THQ Nordic sale. There wasn't a ton of things that really popped out to me, but I want to make sure and mention it. The one thing that did stand out was Jagged Alliance 3. It came out in 2023. This is the kind of the classic turn-based tactical game. You got yourself a group of mercenaries in this, you can call it XCOM style, Jagged Alliance style, where you're making your way through some unfriendly territory. And Jagged Alliance 3 came out again 2023, and it is on sale the lowest it's ever been, 70% off at $13.49. And that is it. There is my my list of the best board game deals for the Board Game Fest. If you found anything, and if there's any board games that you think are fantastic that need to get mentioned more, make sure you let me know. I love a good board game, and I love a good board game that's been digitally adapted. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.